the sheer ludicrousity, I guess you could say, if that's even a word, of network rail shutting down for 2 whole weeks, year after year after year, compared to me driving a regular train in America is so different, folks. Welcome back, folks, to the very last 3 missions of Train Sim World, where you got 1 L62 Swansea to London Paddington. This is going for about 30 minutes, and we're going to be getting an AP score of 8550. I did fix the gold medal problem that was broken a little bit earlier in the last whatever mission it was, where you saw me out of missing gold medal. We've got essentially this HST to drive, and then we got essentially the exact same HST here. The difference between the two, this is April and this is June. The one in the middle is going to be our very last networker turbo. We'll be coming to that in a future episode. So let's get right into this particular mission and get this game up and over. Alrighty, folks, we are finally into it. 1 L62 Swansea to London Paddington. Let's get right into it. Wow, this crowd, what the heck? They don't know what they're doing, man. They're all just what in the world? Look at that stripe. That's just dumb. But yeah, so the crowd are all just huddling there. It looks like stop at location London Paddington. We have a one-stop train. How exciting. So we can just take our time setting up our DSD isolation from isolate to non-isolate. We are going to do the same for AWS, isolate to non-isolated. We want to check our time. It's about 3 in the afternoon. We're just going to turn on the spare because it does nothing useful. We don't need windscreen de-icer. Train supply brightness, again, this is just for this little light that comes off of here. We know our train supply is on because you could clearly see it there. Let's go ahead and release the brakes. While the brakes are doing something useful there, we might as well turn on the master key, and we're going to turn the engine from reverse to neutral to forward. Press Q to get rid of that annoying sound. And the last thing is our gauge stemmers. We're going to get our gauge lights up and on, and then once our brakes are finally off, we can finally go at throttle 3, and that should be enough to get myself moving. Wait, nope, there go. Nope, I keep thinking the train's moving, but it's not moving yet because I got to get the last couple pies of the brake pipe pressure. What's going on with this person? My gosh, this person, not that guy. This lady is like a little weird with the shadows and stuff. It just makes her look a little oddball there. But where are these stripes coming from? Like, there's nothing. Oh, okay. So maybe somehow this stripe is related to those stripes up there. I don't quite understand it myself how that's working, but maybe the sunlight's not filtering through this very properly. But it's just so odd that that one stripe is just wrong. By the way, folks, if you didn't know it, we're in Reading Station. We are driving out right now from Reading straight down to London Paddington. Let's go ahead and throttle up. Throttle 5, that should be enough. Ignore the fact that we've got this little red here. All we have to do is pay attention to 40 miles an hour, and that is what we're going to get covered here, folks. I forgot to turn on my headlights. I do this every time. Let's put the headlight to day mode. There we go. Day headlamp and markers. Alrighty, folks. I just advanced the photo mode time, and would you believe it? I've actually officially passed the 60 mile an hour zone, which is right here, thanks to photo mode breaking the game once again. Good job, photo mode. I appreciate that immensely. With that said, we probably need some cab lights, folks. If you want some cab lights, just go ahead and flip them on. What I personally like doing is going right to the back, turning on the engine room light. Why? So when we are on the outside of the engine, we can actually see our wonderful engine right there. It's all lit up, all pretty, and making it look nice as we roll on to Paddington itself. Oh my god, I just got AWS. Good job, me. I just got AWS. Good job. Well, we're just gonna coast along as my train burns itself out. Obviously, we just have to hit the emergency brake here. Let's just go ahead and release and just put this on full service then. We're not gonna go anywhere else. Emergency brake that. Let's just vacate the pipe completely. Of course, folks, when you get this, you just have to put on your little headlight. It will tell you your headlight status right there on the board on the side. After that, we just put our throttle back to idle. We might as well just put our reverser to neutral or engine off. And now we just wait patiently for this wonderful brake demand light to finally turn itself off. Yay, we're already going to be late and the mission just got started. Hey, networker turbo out there, we've got a slight problem. I'm sorry, but my hazard lights are on. As you can see there's an emergency here. I've just got myself shut down. Alright folks, Christmas is around the corner. My train's finally getting a move on. I probably should pay more attention to the Q button as we're moving forward. Who knew there was going to be an AWS like right there in that one little spot, but whatever just got in my way up ahead. With Christmas, the GWE or the GWR, they are notorious for cancellation. So today happened to be 2024. We're not going to get specifics on what day of 2024 it is. No, I'm not going to get shut down yet. Because it's 2024, every year going forward, at least until 2028, 2030, 2045, 2046, I don't know, 2080, there is going to be Christmas shutdown on the main line, unfortunately. And this year is no different. So for anybody who lives in the UK, I feel for you terribly. Why does Network Rail shut down your line every time? I don't understand it. What they're doing again is they're carrying out the round of enabling work for construction for the planned Old Oak Common Station. They're going to have a new Old Oak Common Station. I did this in a previous episode. What was going to happen to Old Oak Common? If you didn't catch it, watch that episode now and you'll be happy to know what's up. But yeah, with that said, it's all about the HS2 route, folks. The problem with this is they're starting track maintenance and renewals at the same time, preferably to minimize the impact on customers. But if I was a customer in the UK and I was trying to go on a train at Christmas time, I am being significantly impacted by this. This is just ridiculous. At the usual train services will go until Christmas Eve, but they don't go running on Christmas Day or Boxing Day or any of the days in between, which is really important. You're talking about Friday the 27th to Sunday the 29th. The Heathrow Express and GWR would not be running services into or out of London. London's literally getting shut down and closed off completely. That's what it feels like. Customers can still get to where they need to go, however, with alternative routes available in and around the station. What does that mean? It means driving your car. It means taking a bus. It means calling a taxi. And if you guys have Uber and Lyft by now, it means calling Uber and Lyft and maybe even dialing a friend for help, right? What advice did they give people in the UK to deal with this sort of thing? They said they could use GWR services and the Elizabeth Line train between Ealing Broadway and Reading for onward connection. Isn't that so convenient? But you can't get to London. Journeys will take about a half an hour longer than normal GWR service. Okay, that's not so bad, but why shut down the service altogether? Traveling between London and Oxford. I talked about Oxford not too long ago in the previous episode or 3. Anybody trying to go there and they'll essentially have to climb aboard the Shutdown railway train between London, Marylebone, and Oxford for any onward connection. Again, you have to get diverted into some other route, which is really unfortunate. If you're trying to go from London, Bristol, Parkway, South Wales, Devon, Cornwall, anything like that, you are going to be forced to use a special train. This special train drives directly from London, Euston, and alternatively travels from Ealing Broadway and Reading on GWR Elizabeth Line services with onward connection. Great job on the advice, GWR. Great job. Why do you have to mess with our train service in the UK? I'm not from the UK, but I can say that. But with that said, trains via Westbury and Warminster will also be impacted by engineering work from the 27th to all the way to the 23rd of January. How ridiculous. And not just that, the Night Riviera sleeper service will not run on Saturday the 21st and will pause services until services restart all the way after New Year's on January 3rd. Indeed ridiculous. How in the world are you supposed to get on a train and enjoy a trip and enjoy the sleeping car and enjoy such a train like this one, which is absolutely gorgeous over the Christmas holidays? What if I wanted to come to the UK and visit this particular train and ride on this line all the way to London Paddington? It is not happening this year, folks. Again, all of this is tied to the HS2 station at Old Oak Common in West London, as well as, now keep in mind, as well as Network Rail enhancement to track singled overhead wires between Reading and Paddington. Most of the Great Western Railway's long-distance services will actually start or end at Reading rather than London itself, which again is just insane. That's a problem. The way the operation director put it, quite frankly, is he says this is a really complex operation. They've worked hard to make sure people can get where they want to. Well, again, what if I want to go to London and I can't because you guys have prevented me from doing so? They plan to run an hourly service from southwest of England, Cornwall, Devon, etc., and an hourly service from South Wales, which goes into Euston. But that doesn't again help me get to London. How does this work for me? They claim they'll have several trains which will terminate at Reading and people can connect from there. They also claim to have trains from Ealing Broadway, etc. I've already said all of this, but it's again ridiculous because according to them, it is really important to us that we can keep customers moving and keep them, essentially get them to where they need to go this Christmas. However, one of the reasons they chose Euston was because it's the most convenient for many of the customers who are making journeys beyond West London. Well, it's certainly not convenient for me because I gotta get on a plane from the west coast of the United States, fly all the way to London Heathrow Airport, get off there, and then try to figure out how the heck am I supposed to drive a GWR train. What's interesting is the advice they really give people is go early. In other words, the earlier you could travel before Christmas or the later after Christmas, the better and more comfortable your journey will be. You hear what they're saying? They're saying that your journey will be very uncomfortable unless you go before Christmas or and after Christmas. What a ridiculous thinking is that? But there's a caveat to that. There is a crazy caveat. Let's say I go, oh God, December 20th, right? Why not? There's no service disruption happening December 20th. To ensure passengers passenger comfort and prevent overcrowding. What's up? The trains will be reserved only. Reservation only, folks. You have to book in advance. That's insane. I can't just walk onto a train and I can't be happy. I will be horribly uncomfortable. We're about to push dangerously fast at 125 miles an hour. Somewhere in this engine it says I should not go past 125. I don't see where it says that. Where the heck is the little thing that says I shouldn't go past 125? I know it's somewhere around here. I remember seeing it on the board. I swear it was like up here, but it's not. Well, whatever. Our speed limit is 125, so we're going to have to make sure we toe that line as long as we can. Yeah, so Network Rail, again, what they're trying to do again is to replace things like worn out track at Brookwood. They're going to be working on embankments and trying to fix embankments so the embankments don't get continuously deteriorated. Totally understand. I totally get it. That's fine. Whatever. You know, realistically, when you have the biggest part of the festive period of the year, why are you choosing a day like Christmas Day or Boxing Day or even Christmas Eve or New Year's to shut down a railway? Wouldn't it make more sense to shut down the railway in April, like when we're driving this? This would be perfect. I mean, there's not as much people on the rail line. Why not shut down the rail line at night? That would make more sense. In fact, one of the folks from the director of Network Rail's Wessex region actually says performance has not been as it should be. We should be providing a first-class service to our customers. Absolutely. When you're thinking about this from a business point of view, your customers are first, not the fix of the line. As much as it might delay things to fix the line and everything, there's better ways to approach that. You know, you can manage the team better and make this work. Again, not just embankment, not just trying to work on tracks and stuff. You're also dealing with switches. There's somewhere along the lines there are crossings, which essentially cause the train to change from one line to the other. So we're really talking about, you know, like this switch right here that's coming in. I love how that just came up just perfectly. These switches will have to get adjusted and replaced or whatever. So some of this will cause disruption, but there's so many lines around here, guys. There's so many lines. Why not just divert the train around the problem and continue forward? Why shut the whole line and cause all the lines to get disrupted when you could just work on the single line? It would make the most sense that way, right? Let's honk my horn out of frustration at that person being on the yellow line and them shutting down Network Rail. What else are they looking at? Not just worn out track, but again, they're also dealing with conductor rail, folks. Conductor rail, which essentially provides power to the trains, will also be replaced, and there's a significant portion that needs to get worked on to improve the overall drainage of those areas. That means you're talking about Southwestern Main Line completely closes all day Sunday on one of the days. From December 23rd to the 5th of January, there's no direct train from London on the West of England line to Salisbury. All trains from Weymouth, Bournemouth, and Southampton to London will be diverted up to the Portsmouth line. This all will take an additional 45 minutes. I did talk about cancellation and redirection. This is actually from a completely different train line that's going into London that's also being impacted. Not just the GWE, but it's also Southwestern Main Line. Stations including Winchester, what is this one? Midshodover, I believe it is, will not even have any direct services at all. Imagine walking up to your station and having no train stop there because they have to do these repairs. Instead, there's going to be bus service instead of trains between places like Basingstoke and Woking and from all of the stations in between. Just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. So this is not just the beginning, folks. This has been going on for quite a while, but it's the beginning of the current phase of the HS2 project, put it that way. And this is going to take at least until 2028 to actually finish the auto commendation portion of it. Once that's done, here's the kicker, folks. Here's the funny kicker. I cannot believe this is a thing. The kicker is no decision has yet been taken place on whether some or any of the Great Western trains will actually stop at Old Oak Common at the new station, folks. Why build a new station if you have no decision if a train can even go there? That is absolutely bonkers, man. I cannot believe they would even consider that. I mean, they're building the HS2 line. The idea was to build this high-speed train that would go from the beginning at Old Oak Common, give or take, and would go all the way up to essentially Scotland, right? Then you had cancellation after cancellation after cancellation after cancellation. I can go on and on with the cancellation, but what ended up happening now, you got the short route. I believe it was to Birmingham. I think that's where it stops now. The route is practically no faster, no longer than it would take to go on one of these high-speed trains that I'm driving on right now, the HST1. Now they're saying that it's probably not even to stop at all. What in the world, folks? They actually have a day-by-day summary of what's happening. I'm not going to read all of it, but I just want to give you the gist of what this looks like and what this sounds like. Normal Great Western Railway services will operate subject to whatever whatever engineering work that there is. However, because of early morning engineering work, guess what you got between Slough and Reading? The following trains will not call at Burnham or Taplow. The midnight train will not happen. Of course, nobody's probably going to be on midnight. That's fine. You're going to have replacement buses. That's totally fine. But then you have the 5 o'clock train. The 5 o'clock train that would normally run to Reading. What in the world? You're going to cancel that train too? People need to get to work, folks. People need to get work, and they're going to be either departing later or they're going to be starting at a different time, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes later. That's just insane. However, one train, instead of doing that, it's actually going to leave, what is it, like 15 minutes early. So not only can I go to my 508 train, I'm going to miss that train because that train's going to have left at 4:55, while the 608 train is not going to go until 6:25. Absolutely bonkers again, people. The schedule is just insane. Folks, I see a bunch of yellows over there, and I'm kind of wondering what that's all about. It's about 3 miles away, and obviously we are stopping in London Paddington about 9 miles, so it's about a quarter of our journey. We might have to slow down because of a network of turbo, or maybe another HST that actually has a real stop. Who knows? But this trip was going pretty quick for me, honestly. Probably because I was having a lot of fun complaining about the fact Network Rail is doing their BS thing of shutting down the rail line again every year. But you know, again, I'm not a UK person. I live in America, and I think this is ridiculous. That's what I'm thinking. Now, let me give you an alternative to why I think that. We're going to start with Caltrain. Caltrain happened to be Peninsula Corridor for anybody who likes Trains and World and wants to get that DLC. Go for it right now because it is on sale at some point in the winter, right? Cancellations over Christmas. I looked it up. I was like, what cancellations are there over Christmas? And let me read this one to you. It's hilarious. Northbound elevators are out of service at San Mateo Station. What? What was that? Let me say it again. Elevators in San Mateo Caltrain northbound is out of service, which may make platform inaccessible. Please call Caltrain customer service at the following number for whatever assistance. Guess what? You can go reroute that elevator. There's another way to get you on board the train if you need to use the elevator. Think about that, folks. Caltrain actually is not disrupting service over the holidays. Wait, that's just one line in the West Coast. Let's go somewhere else. Folks, what about Lear? Let's talk about the Long Island Railroad System. Long Island Railroad System services actually got severe delays after morning suspension. What happened, folks? A switch problem happened. The switch problem caused widespread suspension during the early morning rush. Okay, whatever, but they're still doing rush hour. The commuters faced about 30-45 minute delays on one day, Friday. It wasn't a multi-day delay or nothing like that, which is a one-day thing. Subways were actually honoring Lear tickets between Jamaica and Penn Station, and they were allowing this to go through as well as the connecting station. It is kind of something interesting there. We got a red up ahead. That might be my stop. Oh, no, it's not. It's going to be close to my stop. Somebody's up ahead slowing down. Maybe it's this guy. This is probably the guy that's holding up our line. We're going to pass you so we can get in front of you. We don't have this problem, sir. The Friday problem there capped essentially we gotta slow down now. We gotta slow down. 100 miles an hour here, folks. 100 miles an hour. In fact, we probably gotta go slower than that, but we'll see. We're gonna have a speeding incident. Oh my god, that's insane. We gotta slow down way more than this, folks. 50 mile an hour done. We're just gonna keep slowing until we get there. We're almost at our full AP score. 8550, I think it's what it was. Folks, get out of the way. This is the train that's driving dangerously way too fast. But yeah, so anyway, Friday's problem that for our Lear capped a week of significant challenges for the MTA, including things like service slowdown, suspension, and Con Edison power outage that stranded thousands of passengers underground. Keep that in mind. That was the problem. Not Christmas suspension, just a normal regular day where flooding, rain, snow, whatever it is, that caused the disruption. Now, the governor, of course, in that incident decided to do a comprehensive review, so no worries there. It will be fixed soon, folks. Okay, I cannot press Q. I cannot press Q fast enough there. Yes, I know we got to slow down, so let's go ahead and drop our throttle off, and we should be good. Now, the last one I want to show you is MBTA. I'm going to show you that rail line. I'm going to give you like a little screen capture of that. You can kind of see what's going on there. Some of it's just the fact that the station has parking lot issues. Some of it's the fact the station itself is closed during the construction. However, there is still a way to get over to the station and get on board, so it's not like an end-all deal breaker or nothing like that. You could still board your train. You could still get on roughly in the same place. The sheer ludicrousity, I guess you could say, if that's even a word, of Network Rail shutting down for 2 whole weeks, year after year after year, compared to me driving a regular train in America, is so different, folks. So different. We're going to be changing tracks here, not in this particular switch, but one of the upcoming switches. We got to get ourselves down to 40 because I'm going way too fast. I'm overspeeding like crazy, folks, but that's okay. I think we might make our time. I think we made up our time successfully. Yay, go me. We're finally moving tracks, and we got about 1.6 miles, 1.6 1.6 miles. Wow, that was a nifty tilt there. 1.6 miles before our final stop at London Paddington. We're just going to have to drop down to 40, and we're doing this naturally. In fact, there might be a chance we might be slightly late, but I think I did a good job overspeeding my train long enough to get myself here on time, folks. Let's go ahead and divert tracks a couple more times, and we'll see you shortly. Alrighty, folks, let's get the smoke out of my eyes, because this is just like way too much smoke just filtering into my brain there. But yeah, so we're about to hit our 40-mile-an-hour zone. I'm not too worried about going a little bit too fast for this. I think what's most important for my rail stop is stopping on a dime at the final station stop. But we got to drop down to 25. And as usual, folks, if you're liking this and if you're enjoying this, please definitely like and subscribe. Every single view and every single like and every single subscription count, I do appreciate each and every one of you for taking some time to watch. Now, when this episode will come out, will probably come out more likely after Christmas, maybe probably after New Year's. It's all going to depend on holiday festivities. I am slowing down way too much. No. We're going to be late if I slow down too much. We're going to need to speed up, folks. We need to speed up. That's better. Get ourselves back to 25. All right, there we go. We're now at 25 miles an hour. Our final stop is an 800 yards. I think we pretty much got this one made. This one is going to be a kick in the bucket, real easy 30-minute mission. The last one, thankfully, is going to be about as quick as this. We can always revisit kind of how bad the service disruption was after the holidays, perhaps. Unless I do a recording before the holidays, we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely excited for what's up next. Oh, I'm going way too fast now. Look at that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for what's up next after GWR. I've had so much fun. I will probably come back and revisit GWR when it's finally up on remaster. I really want to see maybe a comparison between the two and just have some fun just seeing the differences on the trip. That's going to be a trip in itself. Just blast our horn just in case I accidentally speed through and go through the wonderful icon there. It looks like we are stopping with our doors on the left, is it? Let's see what our timetable said. Low passengers. Yep, we got a low passengers. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and break this one and get ourselves slowed down to about 10 miles an hour. I think 10 miles an hour will cut it. And with that said, we're coming into London Paddington in April. Last mission will literally look like this, but in June. But I highly recommend you watch that because we're going to have some fun, at least for the last episode, and just have a good time together as we call the close of GWR to a final halt. Okay, we're going too slow. We gotta speed up. This is insane. This train is heavy, man. I don't know how many cars I've got. I'd have to count and see, but I'm already at the end of the line. I don't want to take the time to actually count the train and figure out what I've got. 6 miles an hour is probably good enough for me. That should be enough to coach the rest of the way. Oh my God, I'm already late. I'm late. Look at it. I'm late. Just insane. See, emergency stop did it to me. I'm only like 5 seconds late. Whatever. All right, our speed's finally dropping down, and we're finally going to make our final stop here, and we should work pretty nicely, although my train is stopping a little bit harsher than I prefer, but we'll work with it. We'll work with it, folks. With that said, I think we can finally put our final... I can't see 9. Move out of the way. I can't see. Oh my gosh. Okay, initial reduction. Let's just stop this train. Perfect. What are you? Whistle stop. Perfect. I don't need food and wine right now, so DRA I need to turn on. And let's go ahead and unlock the left door. And with that said, I could probably lock the brakes down completely full service. Probably should turn my reverser off completely, at least the engine off. And I'm going to turn these guys off, because if we were going to get out of the train, this is exactly what we would do. We would turn off all of these dials while the passengers are loading. Probably put tail light, wouldn't we? Tail lights for the opposite end, because we're going to be going the other direction. And the spare, we can always turn off the spare. Engine room light, we can always leave on, or we can turn it off. And of course, this thing cab light off. I'm super curious. The dispatcher doesn't say anything. I was super curious about that. Would the dispatcher say something if I was still in the engine? But I guess so. So I'm going to close the door. And of course, we got to load up the passengers. But once the passengers are loaded up, we can call the mission done. Well, adding and removing trains from an active timetable can have unpredictable consequences. Let's not do that accidental button press. Instead, let's just go ahead and sit in the driver's seat and press the button that makes more sense of locking the doors. What happens if I get out? Oh, darn it. It won't let me out all the way. But whatever. I got my platinum medal. We are good. Speeding minus 260. All of the speeding happened at the end. I'm totally fine with that. We did great. Folks, we'll see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we will see you in the new year. Have a good time, folks. Bye. This would not necessarily meet the need that they're looking for to be able to achieve this. We should probably blow our horn and strive for. So far, I haven't missed a stop in the rain. I'm extremely thrilled. I've been hitting every network or turbo on the line. That's impressive. I mean, I could have just... I'm late here. People are missing their transfer. Sorry about that here, but it's working overall, right?